Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation Thunderball, turn 7.8 KMT. It is July 1939. I just wanted to go over what I have as far as IPP, because whenever France falls, it's very confusing. So I have CCP at 0, KMT at 1, Vichy at 3, Free French at 5, Anzac at 7, Italy at 10, Great Britain, that's FEC at 14. I've ordered some roundels so I can try to make some switches, but right now that's FEC. 16 for the United States, 21 for USSR, 26 for Great Britain, 31 for Japan, and 41 for Germany. All right, so let's go down here and take a peek at, first thing I want to do is a little bit of housekeeping. That's down here. Let's see. Okay, so this coastal submarine here that I have in P51, I should view my Madman Dan pointer. Okay, so yeah, this guy in P51 started off in P50, and it's really confusing that in version 4, it's going to take some getting used to that submarines only get a movement bonus from submarine bases. So it's going to encourage us to build submarine bases if we want to get that extra movement. But those coastal subs are really pathetically slow, and so I have that, your submarine there, Hambone, in P51. It couldn't make it to P52. And then there was another thing that occurred over here, which is in northern Algeria. Hambone kind of merged the British and Free French turns, but they're two separate turns. And on the British 7.5, he lend-leased this infantry to Free France in northern Algeria, and then he didn't move it. He could have just moved that infantry, either to take over Tunisia or to take over French Morocco. And I pointed that out to him, since no dice had been rolled and Italy hadn't done its turn yet. I thought it was perfectly reasonable for him to just say, oh yeah, I'm going to have this unit move. I'm sure the other players would have allowed him to do it, but Hambone said, nope, I'm going to stick with what I submitted. I submitted the turn, and I really respect that. I think Hambone probably would have been easier on other players, and he's holding himself to a higher standard. But I also think psychologically that's really smart and a sign of a good player. Good players are willing to suffer some pain in order to learn a lesson. And so I wonder if that's what Hambone's doing with that. Another little thing that happened is up there in northern England. On England's turn, Great Britain built a militia and upgraded a militia here in northern England, but there is a minor factory. So Hambone could have just built an infantry there. So instead of paying 2 for a militia and then another 2 to upgrade the militia, he could have just paid 3 for the infantry. But once again, I'm sure the other players would have been like, yeah, that's totally fine. But nope, Hambone held himself to a higher standard. Respect. Okay, let's move this camera over here. I hope it's not too jarring. This newsstand I have has a little bit more wobble, but I really like it. It's much easier because it's not sitting on the board. It's sitting beside the board. So, okay, let's start KMT 7.8. Purchases. I have 4 IPP to spend. I'll purchase 1 artillery for 4. Combat movement, none. Combat phase, none. Non-combat movement, I don't have any non-combat movement either. So place unit phase, I'll just put that artillery piece that I'm going to buy, I'm going to put it here in Yunnan. And of course I have everything set up, but I forgot to get out my artillery piece. Yeah, sorry for this delay. There we go. Okay, so I'll put this artillery piece here in Yunnan. Okay, and then I collect 1, and I have 2 for the Burma Road, so I end the turn with 3 for KMT. Now let's do a disposition. I've got 10 militia, 22 infantry, 1 mountain, 2 cavalry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery. Thank you very much, Anzac. That was very generous of you. And 1 artillery piece. Turn 7.9, USA. Okay, the first thing is a peacetime income increase. PBE generated a 10! So USA's income increases to 26. That was lovely. I have 7 tech rolls. First, I tried for advanced artillery at a 7 or higher. PBE generated a 4, so I failed. Second, I tried for improved construction at 7 or higher. PBE generated a 4, so I failed. Third, I tried for jet fighters at an 8 or higher. PBE generated a 2, so I failed. Fourth, I tried for long-range aircraft at an 8 or higher. PBE generated an 8, so I succeeded, and I advanced to stage 2. Fifth, I tried for large ship construction at an 8 or higher. PBE generated an 8, so I succeeded and advanced to stage 2. Sixth, I tried for heavy strategic bombers at a 9 or higher. PBE generated a 9, so I succeeded and advanced to stage 2. I have a feeling, did I do that wrong? Wait, I worry that I messed it up. Hold on. That doesn't sound right. I think I mixed up my order of what PBE said. No, heavy strategic bombers, 9. What did I say? Yeah, heavy strategic bombers, 9. Okay, so heavy strategic bombers, I succeeded, advanced to stage 2, and strategic rockets, PBE generated a 5, so I failed, and I stay at stage 2. So let me go move those things on my board. That's very interesting, because almost all my techs are stage 2. It's the things that I was at stage 1, I advanced on, and the things except jets. Jets, I am still stuck at stage 1. I cannot get out of stage 1 with jets. So long-range aircraft, I move up. Large ship construction, I move up. Heavy strategic bombers, I move up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 techs at stage 2, and 1 tech at stage 1. But I'm very happy because I got that 10 on my... Oh yeah, I should move that up to 26 for the U.S. income. Oh, I'm tied with Great Britain. Okay. Probably pretty boring for you guys watching right now. Sorry about that. Purchases. I have 44 IPP to spend. I'm going to lend-lease a fighter to Great Britain for 10. Really not very organized, this one. I did not set out my purchases because I was planning at the end here to go over the whole map, so I moved my build thing out of the way and forgot to set that out. So I'm going to lend-lease a Marines to the Free French. That'll cost me 4. So that gets me up to 14 so far that I've spent. Get myself out Marines. And then last, I'm going to lend-lease an anti-aircraft artillery to the KMT for 4. And so that brings the total that I've spent up to 18. Okay. Then that means that I save 26. Combat movement, none. Non-combat movement, none. Placement of units. Well, the Americans aren't placing any units, but I do have some lend-lease. Let's go down here over to America. Yeah, that does show it. Great, okay. So I'm just going to embark in Washington, D.C., and then I'm going to travel over and debark in southern England with that fighter. Then for the French, similarly, I will, the Free French Marine, that is, I will embark. Oh, look at that! It even has, I can embark in Washington, D.C., and then I can debark in northern Algeria. I pick up, the screen shows all of that. That's kind of nice. And then the artillery, I'll embark in San Francisco, and then debark in Burma, travel up the Burma Road, and end up here right under there, adding 3 anti-aircraft guns. Everyone's a little bit quirky about how many AA guns they like to have. I like 3. Okay, so let's see. Is there any other? I think the U.S. collects 26, and they had saved 26, so that leaves me with 52 IPP. End of the round. Okay, so this is an interesting thing that happens at the end of the round. Maybe a good learning point. Let's see if I can rotate this down. Still learning how this stand works. Okay, cool. So at the end of the round, you remove any damaged trekkers. So that guy gets removed. And you do Molotov-Ribbentrop. So Germany receives 5 IPP. That brings them up to 66. Russia receives 3 IPP and ends with 24. So let's just run through everyone else. I have Great Britain with 30, CCP with 4, Japan with 39, of course I should know that number, FEC with 16, United States with 52, KMT with 3, Italy with 10, ANZAC with 14, Free France. I have 7, but I think it might be 6. I think it should be 6 because I think I gave them an extra 1 thinking that they were going to capture either French Morocco or Tunisia. Okay, I think that is a good spot for me to start talking about what's going on in the game, kind of like do an end of year review. So America's saving some money, just waiting, but already starting to do some lend-leasing. Let's see. God, let's talk about France. That did not go well. I really messed up today. Normally I'm really good about turning my phone off. So hopefully I'll get that to silence. Okay, so France. What a fiasco for Panzer J. I'm always whining about my luck, and I had thought that I had worse luck than Panzer J, but I have to hand it to him. That is the most unlucky turn that I've seen. I think we calculated that he lost 87 IPP worth of units, and he's really just thin. He's very, very thin right now, but he's menacing England. He's got 2 air transports, 2 airborne, and 4 fighters and a tactical, all in Western Germany. And Panzer J loves his airborne attacks. Let's go over here and talk about what happened down in Africa. So when Vichy, when France surrendered, then and Vichy was created, then we have to roll to see what happens as far as Free France or Vichy France. And only 2 territories, these 2 territories went Vichy. Everything else went Free French. And it was similar too with the naval units. You can see there's this Vichy battleship, but that was, I think, the only Vichy vessel. I think the Germans I can't remember, a transport. They got a transport, but really most everything went French. It was a dream outcome, and for me as the KMT, I was really happy about the Vichy, or the role for Free French in the Japanese territories too. Anything to slow down Japan. Just touching base here with how Japan is doing. Just really nice orchestration logistically of how Silk maneuvers his vessels. Before he had this major factory, I think this major factory is the one that he built in Honshu. He used to have destroyers here, and he would do a dance where 2 of them would come down here and 1 would go up there, and then vice versa. He did a dance with his transports here He really, you could just see that he's thinking 2 turns in advance all the time on how he's going to maximize the number of units that he can get into a particular place. I would predict that they're setting up for coordination between Panzer J, who will on 8.1 invade the Netherlands, and then on 7.4 Japan will invade the Dutch East Indies here. I think he's all set up to do that, and that way they'll prevent. No, wait, that doesn't make sense. I was going to say they'll prevent these units, but these units will all go British. Thinking this out, I don't think that Panzer J can go after the Netherlands. You need Japan to go after the Netherlands first, and then those units will be controlled by Britain and Netherlands, and Germany can take them out. I think. I think that's right. I don't think he will attack the Netherlands if I'm thinking this through properly. So let's go talk about Russia. Russia is prepared to invade Iran. And if he does go into southern Iran, then he will end up basically allowing the Allies to declare war against Russia at some future time. But in my opinion, Russia has to be vulnerable to the Allies declaring war. There's no way that they can take the strategic objectives they need to win this game without risking the Allies having the ability to declare war on them, because one of the objectives is for Russia to capture Warsaw and central Romania. Another one is to get Helsinki up there. It doesn't look like Russia's in a major position to go after Viipuri, the Finnish province here. You can go in, just take that, and then sign the Moscow Peace Treaty and end the war with Finland. It looks like he is more prepared to go down into Iran. Let's see. Yeah, over here. So I think that's about all I can tell you about how our game is going. Japan looks particularly strong. Germany kind of looks really hurt. I think it's going to take some time to build back up. And it's a very, very interesting game with some really skilled players having a ball.